So much for this beautiful day that you've given us. We thank you for your Son, Jesus, who gives us eternal life. We invite your presence to be with us here today. We ask for your protection for the drivers, the crew members, the track staff, and for the fans, that they would enjoy the race today. Thank you for our military men and women who are serving here at home and abroad, and we ask for your protection for them and also their families. Thank you, Father, for your blessings, and we commit this day to you. We ask these things in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Now, please welcome 17-year-old singer-songwriter from Bethesda, Maryland, Kaylee Delaney, accompanied by signer Tabitha Sperling, senior student of Alabama Institute for Deaf and Blind, as they perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Start here. Some
Drivers about to get buckled in. When we come back, Daniel Hemrick will lead us to the green here at Talladega Superspeedway. It's the drivers only broadcast live on Fox.
Some
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse in the Hollywood Hotel. But you've heard enough from us. Let's talk to our guys up in the booth. Joey Logano, Clint Boyer. I still got my beats. Thanks, Shannon. Waiting on Kevin Harvick. Guys, what's going on up there? Where's Kevin at?
Kevin, well, here. We got Kevin right here. He's ready to go.
There he is.
Kevin, what do you think about the race? How's it going to be today? He didn't have much to say.
That's
It's the
the
first time
quietest
Harvick
Kevin's ever
hasn't had
been.
much to say. But we're
He's
ready
coming.
to go.
He's coming. He's on his way. I saw the motorcade coming.
Yeah, so we're ready. We got a lot of actions. Talladega, a lot of things for action on the racetrack. A lot of inexperience today. Clint, what do you think's going to happen, man?
First of all, what a beautiful day for a race. Beautiful weekend. We've had a lot of fun last night on the boulevard. I went for a jog this morning. Everybody, the infield is packed. The campers are here ready to watch this Xfinity race. The guys, the competitors. This car is producing some great racing for this racetrack, and I think we're in for a good one today.
We will always be in for a good one at Talladega. And to add more to that, the Dash for Cash.
Yes.
$100,000 for these guys. So we got a lot of things going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
And there's Harvick.
He's here.
He is coming in the door. That is awesome. So, yeah, we were ready to go up here. It's going to be a great one. It's going to be
There he
aggressive
is.
racing.
Mike's hot.
And
Mike's
here he
hot.
is.
Well,
All right,
Mr. Harvick.
Show
Well,
off.
thank you. I may have missed a few buttons, kind of sweating, but yeah, that was a good way to start qualifying. So you guys got it all covered, right?
We were scrambling for a while, but we're doing good now.
Well, I
Pretty
can't.
eventful.
You got some more material for us?
I do. Yeah. Let me find it though. I can't hear anything. So
Well,
you guys tell me what's going on.
we got 45 seconds before the
You
command
were
here.
with us.
Well, I was with you in spirit.
Yes.
And I think as you look at that, I think that was strong. I meant well as I was coming up the stairs. So
How was
do this.
how was your lap out there?
my lap was pretty uneventful actually. So
How about the first lap?
first
It's pretty
lap was eventful. I didn't know whether to slow down for the caution flag, and then I got to turn one and I said, there has been a wreck in qualifying. And it happens to be my teammate. So didn't work out very good.
Well, that's awesome. So we're getting ready for the command here in a few minutes. It's going to be a great race today. It's going to be aggressive racing, $100,000 on it. So let's go down and get the command.
Race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, a great friend of Sparks Energy, Wayne Sternberg.
Drivers, start your engines.
And we are geared up here at Talladega, ready to go. We got the motors fired up, and we'll be right back.
So, only a few minutes away from driver intros, starting the race here at Talladega, 19th. So we got some work to do, but as everyone knows, where you start at these places does not matter. And 2 wins on strict play races, so I feel like we got a pretty good shot. We got Bubba as our pit road reporter, so hopefully we do a better job on the track than he's going to do on pit road. So I'm sorry to all the 16 fans if he embarrasses us. It's not our fault.
doesn't get any bigger than Talladega.
She's still big, she's still bad, and she's still bold.
Shots fired on me.
Trouble on the track. Oh my goodness.
And the big one heading to turn 3 at Talladega.
Can't stop me out, you can't stop me out. Shots fired on me.
It's a dash for cash race.
Big cash on the line.
Anything goes.
You better be amped up.
Shots fired on me.
Welcome back to Talladega for today's race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the Sparks Energy 300. What do you guys say we go talk to Elliott Sadler from the driver's seat?
All right, let's grab Elliott. Clint, you want to go talk to him?
Elliott Sadler's Boyer, Logano, and Harvick up in the booth. We watched you in Daytona. You put on a show. If you had 9 lives, you used them all there at the end. With 2 laps to go, you were the caution. Come back after 3 green, white checkers and almost won that thing. What do you got for him today? What's your strategy?
Well, we got a really good one-main financial Chevy, and you know we have to drive to the rear of the field, so I got to use my head here and be aggressive, but also be a little bit cautious depending on how crazy these guys get at the beginning of the race. But I think I got 3 seconds in a row the last 3 restricted plate races, so we got to try to better that today by 1 position.
I think I remember the last time you won here when I was backed into the wall. So you'll hopefully you have a good one today. You're definitely one of the best speedway racers there is, and especially out there on the racetrack today. We know you're going to get your way back up there. Do you go right off the bat, or are you just going to feel it out, see what the track and the pack looks like, and then try to pick your way through?
Well, I'm going to kind of try to see what the pack looks like. Practice yesterday was a lot different than what I was used to. There was a lot of yellow bumpers out here, and trying to figure out who can do what and the experience of these guys. So if they want to be too aggressive too early, I kind of got to take my time. But we're kind of going to play it by ear. We know we want to be in front of the mess if it happens, Joey. So, we just got to play it by ear, see what it goes. I know I got to have good pit stops. We got a really fast car, but you got to have something at the end to make it happen. And hopefully we'll play our cards correctly and be there when it counts. And hopefully you guys have fun in the booth today and do as good a job as you did last year. And I don't know if one of y'all can take care. I don't know who's responsible for taking care of Clint Boyer, but good luck today.
We need all the luck we can. We know you're going to do a good job. Keep them tight down there and do a good job. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, guys, let's go down to our pit reporters. And our first one, Eric Jones.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Christopher Bell's team, and really interesting story for him, coming off a lot of momentum at Richmond last weekend with his win. But back to Daytona earlier this year, only ran 11 laps before getting caught up in an accident. So not a lot of experience in these race cars on the restrictor plate track. So I'm excited to keep an eye on him today and see if he can make his way to the front. Ryan?
Hey everybody, I'm down here at the 22 pit, and I got Austin Cindric starting 11th today, and first time ever here in an Xfinity car at Talladega, and he had some trouble at Daytona earlier this year, getting caught up in a wreck, but they're really optimistic about today. This team has won for 3 different drivers this year, so hopefully Austin make it 4. Bubba, what do you got?
Hey guys, I'm standing here in the 21 box with Daniel Hemrick. We heard from the rear of the pack with Elliott Sadler, but let's leapfrog to the front with Daniel Hemrick, see what their team has for today, if they have the mental toughness to survive 113 laps here at Talladega. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, technically, Mr. Wallace, Elliott Sadler is in the front of the pack, but he will race from the back of the pack. But hey, that's okay. We know you still have your rookie stripe. Here you see our race analysis. This is just a big old racetrack, and as you run 300 miles here, it only takes 113 laps, 25 laps in the first stage, 63 laps in the final stage, and that is short. That is short, guys.
They're real short. You don't have to make a pit stop. You can almost get to the second stage without making a pit stop.
And as we look at our track map here, I think it looks so easy as you're driving around by yourself. It's very wide. It's very
the number one thing
easy
that I see there is a start-finish line. Everybody, we've all been there. You come off a 4 and that magical push at the end of the race. You think you've got that run. You get to the trioval. You're like, oh my. There's a lot of real estate left to get to that start-finish line. It's really, really tricky to time it right for the line.
Yeah, but right there, you just saw 43 feet wide. It's a wide racetrack, and there's a lot of room to make moves and to make your way back up to the front. But you have to make big blocks. It's a lot of racetrack to keep yourself up front.
Yeah, and I think one of the most interesting things about this racetrack is it almost lulls you into thinking everything's okay. And then as the race goes on, it progresses, and the pushing and shoving becomes more and more and more. So it's a hard race to balance what you need to do.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I see right off the bat here, guys, I see 10, count them, 10 Chevrolets in the top 10 in the qualifying right here. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do in the draft versus the other manufacturers.
So we're going young or old? What do you got, Boyer?
You know we like the old guys.
I'm going to go for the young guys. I don't know where I fit into that, but I like the young guys. There's going to be a lot of aggression out there.
You're a tweener.
I'm a tweener.
That's right.
But there's a lot of money on the door on the sideline here. So here we go.
Well, here we go. Green flag, dash for cash, Talladega, youth, and very little experience.
And automatically you see the 42 pushing Daniel Hemrick to try to get out front and clear that inside lane.
But more importantly, you see the leader chose that outside line to have that push, and obviously it's working out well for him.
And that's what those restarts are all about. I think, Kevin, you pick the car that you feel like is going to give you the best push, and maybe not the inside or the outside, it's whoever's behind you and where you line up.
And we see Daniel Hemrick at the front of the pack already kind of leaning towards the bottom a little bit, back to the top. We know we changed the noses on these particular cars. How much did that change the speed of the block, Joey, as far as how fast they come up on you?
Well, you know, when they made some of the rules changes to the Xfinity Series earlier this year, and Daytona was when they first premiered it and started it, but these bumpers used to hook right up and you'd push each other. Now it's harder to get to. It's more like the Cup cars. There's that imaginary bubble, I call it, and as the cars get closer to each other, it kind of slows down the car behind and pushes that lead car up ahead. So the blocks actually happen a little bit slower now than what they used to.
You guys were putting on a clinic in Daytona, those blocks. It was fun while it lasted, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. But right off the bat, you see some three-wide action. You see those cars in the back. They're going to be anxious. And there's Elliott Sadler up there already trying to make some moves because he wants to get out of that hornet's nest as quick as he can.
And I just happened to be looking into turn 2, and it looked like Elliott Sadler was running 20 miles an hour than the rest of the field with that momentum from the back of the pack, because that's one of the things that happens at the beginning of these races is you get that huge momentum from the back because everybody's on different agendas, and especially when you have a fast car like Elliott and you come up through there like, oh man, I got him.
Yeah. And Elliott Sadler, he's got so much experience. He can make some very aggressive moves and know that someone will go with him because people are going to follow the cars they feel most comfortable with, and I don't think you can follow a better car than Elliott Sadler out here today.
The biggest thing I see right off the bat watching these cars is just the width. How much wider this track is than what we saw in Daytona with these restricted plate tracks. It enables Elliott Sadler, as you see right here, coming up through the middle comfortably and making moves and making passes to the front.
And I get the feeling that he knows we're watching because, I mean, that's not normal Elliott's style as he would come from the back. Usually he'd sit back there and kind of ride. But is that just a confidence thing? You think he's that confident in how fast his race car is?
I think so. Right there, you see just, you know, the 51 left the door open. Boom, he's just going to take it when he gets those opportunities. And he knows there's stage points on the line. He's racing for a championship, and he's already up into a lot safer place than what he was when he started this race.
And that's the one interesting thing as I looked at the stage points last night, and they brought it up in the production meeting. It's kind of 50-50 on whether they race for stage points because we have a lot of guys that come from the Cup Series and part-time guys. And Elliott Sadler's one of those guys that needs the stage points because they add up fast if you don't get them.
And if you look at his points, it obviously shows that he has been able to capitalize on that and gather way more than everybody else.
And I think when you're at these super speedways, there's no telling that you're going to get points later on in the race. So you have to almost get those guaranteed points while you can.
As you look at the front of the pack, you have Daniel Hemrick, you have a lot of Chevrolets left up in the front. You see a guy who in the 60 is the first Ford there in 8th position, Ty Majeski, and now he's up to 5th. That's typical Talladega.
Well, here we got to look at the 60. This is where bump drafting gets a little bit risky. And you see the 60 get a little loose there. Elliott's smart enough to back off as soon as he gets there. But that's something that, you know, Clint and Harvick, you guys know, you got to get to that right side a little bit and still allow a little bit of downforce on that car. And here you see a push with John Hunter Nemechek from Justin Allgaier. Now there's a guy, Justin Allgaier, that knows how to draft. He's always up front at these racetracks.
And he's in one of those junior motorsports cars. We've seen it time and time again over the years that those cars are extremely strong. You saw that right there. So one slip up, it kind of stacks everybody up, and away that outside line comes.
And look at the momentum they lose. They just keep eating them up left and right.
And that middle became the sucker hole. I've heard Darrell Waltrip say that several times. The middle became the sucker hole for the 42.
And you see these cars back here of Ryan Truex and Elliott Sadler, how tight they are right there. They're building that energy, and it's going to push them ahead unless Ryan Reed just steps out and goes for it right here. And we'll see if he gets any help.
And I see Ryan Reed up there on the inside, and I think as you look at his super speedway results at Daytona, they're the exact opposite here. And a lot of times that's just dumb luck. But, you know, Talladega has definitely not been the finishes that he's been looking for, because really everybody in this race looks at this particular race as, this is my weekend. This is the chance I have to win a race. And from first to 40th, everybody in this race truly believes they have a chance to win.
And I believe that they do.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think there's a 25, 30 cars that have a legitimate shot of getting in the right situation, maybe taking advantage of a mishap on somebody else's part and winning this race.
By the way, Elliott Sadler's 4th.
Yeah.
Well, Elliott Sadler has overcome everything already, from the back all the way up to 4th place. So we'll see if he can continue.
Race strategy going into turn 1 is to make it to turn 3, and if I can do that for every lap, I'll be good to go for the race.
With the restrictor plates, we're coming up to speed, so you're kind of thinking of that first strategy of what's going to happen going into turn 1.
We might just fall to the rear and let everything kind of play out. It's going to be so fast and exciting. Hope we can just be there at the end. A lot of unpredictable this weekend with the only Xfinity drivers in the field.
I feel like that's the strategy of the whole race. Everybody's strategy is different.
It seems like a lot of them are just trying to stay alive.
Yeah,
not crash.
Based upon Daytona and the Daytona race last year, you know, I think it's probably a pretty good strategy. I like Ryan Sieg's strategy there. Let's just try to make it and survive here.
And it's kind of what we see right now is everyone's freight training it up against the wall, running a bunch of speed, trying to click some laps off, getting closer to the end of the stage, and then the intensity will definitely pick up.
Mr. Wallace, what do you have on the one car for us down there?
Yeah, well, we heard how aggressive we were. See how the pack was know it's pretty easy coming from the back to get up inside the top 10. But once you do crack the top 10, you see a little bit more bold moves of blocking and becoming more aggressive when you get there. But the one car is pretty happy with his car. He said he likes the ride for whatever that means. Ryan, what do you got?
Yeah, I got a little bit on Ty Majeski. It's his first ever time at a restrictor plate racetrack. Things got a little bit hairy for him, and he said he had to bail out. So he's really trying to get with his spotter, trying to figure out what he's doing right and wrong, and just trying to learn and log some laps right now.
Hey, Blaney, feel free to look at the camera when we're talking at you next time.
Oh, I didn't know it was on me.
Hey,
hey, Blaney. Hey, guys, I got something on the 60 at Ty Majeski.
Well, you look comfortable.
I was looking at the big screen. I was watching the race.
You know, as a competitor, if you're up front, you kind of like this single file when they get up there against I call this the Dale Jr. line, you know, and get up there and run like this. But as a fan, even in the booth already, I'm like, hey, man, I want to see some moves. And, Kevin, I know you don't like this either. If you're back there either farther than fifth, you're going to make a move to the bottom.
Well, let's go down to Eric Jones. And, Eric, please look at the camera while you're giving your report here.
I got to find the camera first. But no, Tyler Reddick, he's a good super speedway racer. Won Daytona earlier this year. Won in the truck series as well a couple years ago at Daytona. He's content right now just riding in line. Seems to be happy with how his car is driving and looking to make his move here later in the race.
Well, as we have a little bit of a break here and getting close to the end of the first stage, we've got 14 of the 25 laps. Let's go down and see if there's anything happening in the hotel. I don't want those guys to go to sleep down there.
Oh, we're not. We're not. Ricky and I are in the hotel. Actually, what I was thinking is they single filed out, and I'm not sure if that's a smart move, Ricky, because this stage, as you were telling me, you can make the whole stage on gas, so we will not see a pit stop in the stage if they stay green.
Yeah, they're going to get spread out, obviously, here before too long, but I think one of the things that I studied all night long, Larry Mack and I stood up all night studying our notes, 5 Chevrolets in the top 5. They've only won 2 out of the last 10 races of the Chevrolets, so they're looking to get back to victory lane.
Well, here's the question I have from the booth up here. I see some styrofoam containers over there. Is that yours, Brad? I mean, did you not get to eat?
I haven't got my ice cream yet.
Are you on a diet?
It's very well in TV Land, all right? TV Land eats very well. I got some healthy food. Life is good here in the Hollywood Hotel. It's the reason why it's called the hotel.
I got my chips and guac, too.
Well,
so.
just know that we are getting pizza delivered to our booth at some point up here so that we can eat lunch.
Later.
So,
Bubba, what do you got on the leader there, Bubba?
Yeah, it looks like you guys are having a cakewalk up there, but for the leader, Daniel Hemrick, I know how tough it is. I mean, I just led my first couple laps at Bristol, so watching him wheel this 21 Chevrolet out front, keeping the pack behind him, he's doing a lot more looking in the rearview mirror than the front windshield for sure, so he's doing a hell of a job.
Well, Daniel Hemrick has led every lap so far, and before this, he had only led a total of 7 laps in his 4 prior plate starts.
Wow, who gave you those notes?
Hey, that's what it's like to have good stat guys.
That's
so,
what it's all
Adam,
about.
Michael, we know your tricks. Well, I don't know how well versed you guys are in geography, but we are in Alabama.
Alabama. Long ways from Connecticut, not too far from Auburn or Alabama.
And not too far from Birmingham or Atlanta.
Oh, good point, Kevin.
Yeah. And I haven't seen too many Auburn fans at the 2 appearances that I've done. It's mostly Alabama fans.
I heard that Larry Mack's a big Auburn fan.
That's what I heard as well.
That's what I've heard in the past.
Yeah, he goes to a lot of games, I hear. I think we had somebody visit Auburn this week, didn't we?
I think Eric Jones.
What's up, guys? I'm here today at Auburn University on my college extravaganza tour. I stopped to Talladega today, so it should be fun. Follow along. Had a great visit at Auburn today. Really neat to see all the football facilities, the motorsports program here. Got to see it all. So it's a lot of fun, and make sure to tune in the next time on my college extravaganza tour.
I tell you, it's interesting because of the fact so many of these schools have racing programs in some way, shape, or form. So to see that is pretty cool, because I don't think many people understand the engineering aspect that falls into our sport. I think sometimes we get a little bit discredited for what we do, but this place is engineer driven.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's fitting that we sent Eric. He's probably one of the only drivers that can still go to college.
Ryan, what do you have down there?
Yeah, hey guys, making sure I can see the camera now.
You look good.
No, thank you. Justin Allgaier started 6th, currently running 2nd. So it's getting a little bit tight running the top. Just a handful of laps to go left in the stage. Got 2 of his junior motorsports teammates right behind him. I think he's sitting pretty good to make a move here in the next couple laps. I think I'm throwing it to Bubba. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the 16 on lap 9 here, they were asking if the 60 wanted to work together. Asked the spotter, and the 60 said they just wanted to ride for right now. So it looks like they're kind of forced to work together now as they've lost touch with that front pack. But also the 1 says he is saving some fun. What does that mean, guys?
Saving the fun. It looks like they're getting ready for the fun to start as they start to get to 4 to go at the end of the stage. Look at these cars starting to spread apart. That's the drivers starting to lay off the throttle, drag the brake, playing with how they can build these runs. And what I see is 3 junior motorsports cars lined up ready to go. And poor Daniel Hemrick sitting up there as a sitting duck. And when you see those runs start to build, and it's a matter about what lap they do it, and they're going to go here, and you know, it could happen at any moment. But as those drivers kind of figure out what they have to do to make this run, there will be a race here with 3 to go very shortly.
And I think it's important to remember as we approach this into the stage, these guys can't lock bumpers. That's a rule that's different in the Xfinity Series over our Cup cars. So got to be mindful of that.
Let's hear the radio on the 23.
All in the straight line here. Nice and pretty. Just tell the 2 to be ready. We're going to have to start fighting here eventually. Yeah, I'm talking with the 20 here. He's going to wait like 2 to go. That's what his plan is, and then take it to the front.
There's times that I think 2 to go happens soon. Look at him already trying to. And there's Elliott Sadler gets shuffled out of this pack, trying to follow his teammate. He gets shuffled out. He finds a hole. That was a lucky break for him. He was going to go all the way to the back of that.
I think he made a hole.
Yeah.
It wasn't really there, but you can see him. I agree with you, Joey. I think this is too soon with 2 to go. This is such a big racetrack, and remember that start-finish line is so far around here. You can make those moves and help those cars that are back there in that 15th place lane get up there and pounce on you at the end.
And I think the 9 learned a valuable lesson there. I think, you know, as he went to pull out, I think everybody else was on the wait till we get to the white flag and then race for it, and he got hung out.
And he was in good shape with his teammate there. He kind of left his teammate out a little bit, and now you see Allgaier on his own as well. Ricky, what do you got down there?
Well, guys, as we were coming to the stage in with 2 to go, they closed pit road, so I was kind of anxiously waiting to see if any of the back marker cars were going to come down pit road, take their tires and gas, get back out on the racetrack, stay on the lead lap to restart this next stage in the front, but didn't look like we had any takers.
Big moment there for Christopher Bell. I didn't see what happened there, but
he's got a tire down or something. Something's wrong.
Tire went.
Big save then for him.
The left rear's down.
Well, they're still racing to the end of this thing, that's for sure. Elliott Sadler's down there by himself. The move's going to happen off of turn 4 into the tri-oval.
Yeah, and right now Daniel Hemrick has been leading this train since the drop of the green flag, and you know, the more those guys get side by side, the less chance they're going to have in order to get connected. And as they
just
come
running
into the
over the front
trial
run.
here, you know, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to get connected, and Daniel Hemrick is going to win this stage.
Well, that was a lot calmer than I thought it would be.
Way calmer.
But I think it all hinges on, it's always those moments that shake things up. I think they were all ready coming off a 2 to make some moves, and when this tire let go, it really, whoo, what a good job of saving that.
That caught his attention really quick. And luckily, it's a caution right now, and he's going to be good to go.
Well, Daniel Hemrick did a great job really from the start of the green flag, and track position is what won him that first stage. His second stage win of the year. Well, on this date, April 28th, we had our first commercial flight across the Pacific, which, that's pretty cool.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Jacques Villeneuve wins his first F1 race in 1996. He raced some NASCAR. He was aggressive.
Guy.
And we have Chubby Johnson here, who before he ran a marathon every week.
Jimmy Johnson I
didn't even recognize the guy, did you?
Well,
he's probably out there running somewhere in the infield right now.
Do you know what else happened?
Motivation.
You know what else happened on this date? Bobby Labonte won his only Xfinity race at Talladega. And do you know who he was driving for?
Oh, yeah. Good point. That's pretty cool.
That was you.
That's been a while.
It was your car. Yeah,
yeah, that day he was
know.
driving the number 77 Dollar General car, I believe, and I think the 33 car pushed him.
How many cars do you think you donated to this facility over the years?
Oh, we donated a bunch. And let me tell you something. One time I had this guy drive my car at Dover and about flipped over, and the spring flew out of this guy's car and hit our pit box and broke a kid's leg. I don't remember.
I think I was involved in that crash. Yeah, you're the one that caused it. We crashed together.
Yeah, Carl wrecked you, and I was the innocent bystander thinking they're going to wreck each other, and I'm going to slip up here and win this thing.
Yep.
Boy, I was
Your
wrong.
tire rubber marks were on my seat.
Hey, boys,
I remember that.
We're pitting.
All right, here we go. Bubba, you're first, bud.
All right, as we have the 11 Chevrolet of Ryan Truex coming down pit road. He said his car started off a little bit darty, but it got better. So they're doing right sides and fuel. And while the stage winner, Daniel Hemrick, said his car is all good, they're just doing 2 left side tires and fuel, and they're going to ship it. Off to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I talked to Jason Burdett, the crew chief for Justin Allgaier. They're just going to do gas early on this stop. The car was handling pretty good. They're going to do some rounds in the back. What do you got, Eric?
The 19 of Brandon Jones, he's been really happy with his car. It sucks up better than it really needs to, and his handling hasn't been any issue all today. 2 tires cleared away.
Well, we see a lot of varying strategies there, and the one thing I did notice there were a lot of locked up tires.
Go
ahead.
20 car here just missed his box.
Which I think he was, down there for a little bit. Let's go talk to Daniel Hemrick and see what he's got going on. Hey, Daniel, it's Boyer and Harvick and Logano up here in the booth. You got a copy?
How you doing up there?
Well, we're hanging in there. We're not doing quite as good as you are. You look pretty fast up there. It's we thought you were going to be a sitting duck with those 3 Junior Motorsports cars back there, but they broke up, it seemed like, and you were able to hold them off. How you feel about your car?
Pretty good right now. I saw the teammates back there teamed up, so I thought maybe if I got some time and kept the momentum up, it'd be something for me to get a run. So it worked out. You never know how it's going to go there, but proud of these guys in the South Point Hotel Casino Chevrolet for all their effort.
Well, awesome. Well, congratulations on your stage win, and we'll be looking for some more excitement here in the second stage. I'm sure the intensity level will keep picking up, so have a good one out there.
Guys, we've seen already, these Chevrolets are just strong. Looks like the 20's still working on that left rear. What do you think, Kevin? Maybe probably knocked the brush panel out.
The one thing that was interesting to me is just the fact that they didn't pit when they had the flat tire. He rode around for a lap or 2.
And it's probably paying the penalty now.
Eric, what are they saying on the 20 down there?
Well, I'm down here, and they've had an issue. When this tire went flat, it actually wrapped up around the brake lines, and they've had an issue making sure that they aren't going to have any brake trouble here as the race goes on. So definitely a big problem, not something you want to see happen here at Talladega.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest dangers with a flat tire and that cap coming off and riding around more and more. It winds up tearing stuff up. So we'll see how that affects the 20 when we come back.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Ricky Stenhouse, Brad Keselowski. What do we have here? Kevin and Keelan on the golf links?
Oh yeah, it looks like they're doing a little practice. I've seen Keelan, his golf swing's getting really good. He loves golf, got a hole in his backyard. I've played a lot of golf with Kevin over the last few years, and he's definitely got a good golf swing, good golfer, and I know he doesn't get out as much as he wants. Obviously, having a full-time job and a family cuts into that a little bit.
Looks like a pro there, Kevin. Are you ready for him to turn pro one day?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what? I can't think of a better excuse than to go to the golf course with your son, and mom is happy with it.
Well, you owned a race team before. I guess golf's a little cheaper.
Well, yeah, way cheaper. You don't have to worry about the wrecker picking up 3 or 4 of your cars when you get done at Talladega. So it's been a lot of fun, and we went golfing a few weeks ago on the off week, and we came home, and I'm sitting there on the couch one day, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, you remember that time I hit the ball further than you?" I'm like, okay, I see how this is going to go.
Speaking of fun, boys, it's fixing to pick up again. Green flag.
And you know there'll be some 2-wide, some 3-wide racing again as some of these cars start to move their way through the field and try to get that track position that the Talladega Hemrick do a great job by securing the first stage.
And it looked like the 7 may have spun the tires a little bit right there. Kind of saw him go up the racetrack.
Which is surprising because there's not a whole bunch of horsepower when you come to these super speedways with that restrictor plate.
The one thing we don't see up front, Ryan Truex got caught speeding on pit road, so he'll be coming from the back. Be interesting to watch him come up through the field. We knew he had a fast car.
This will be a fun view from the old visor cam, won't it?
And you can hear right now, you can hear the engine. It's not up to speed. How long does it actually take to get up to speed when you get on these restarts?
We can hear it right there.
He's still going.
Pulling up to those cars. I mean, this is where it truly is like the video game. I mean, the way that the engine changes pitch and how you can listen to that on how your runs are coming and maybe some blocks. Woohoo! Hey, we're going to the front. That's a pretty bold move right there, but that's something you can get away with on this wide track at Talladega.
Mr. Wallace, tell us about the 11.
As a driver that makes constant mistakes on pit road myself, unfortunately, my guy in the 11 got busted for too fast speeding. So I look at common denominators in that factor. He has the same pit crew as me, so maybe it's their fault he's speeding. I don't know.
I don't know if that really has much to do with it, Bubba.
I'm just trying to find any excuses.
But they're wrecking down the back straightaway here.
Top, one wrecker behind you. Going to caution out. One inside here.
Oh, and you see the 11. There you see the pit penalty got him in the back there and got him in this crash.
A couple of big hits right there, too. You see the 60, the 11.
That 60 was having trouble with a loose race car. We'll have to watch the replay here, but he had a loose car on the first stage for sure.
60, that's Ty Majeski. I think that's his second start, I believe, in the Xfinity series. And
you guys, you see here, you hate that, but we've all experienced it. You make that mistake and have a mishap on pit road, and it'll bite you. Sure.
Everyone likes saying this is all about luck, but when you have a mistake and you put yourself back there, it's not bad luck anymore at that point. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, you see the 3 getting to the back of, looks like the 28 there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, look at this car. I don't think he had brakes. Holy smokes. He come barreling off in there.
That was too bad. You know, Ryan is actually about through that thing, and the 60 car kind of come back down in front of him. But that's what you got to be careful of as a race car driver is, you know, when a wreck happens like this, as you can see,
it doesn't take much. And at that part of the racetrack is probably where the cars that are most unstable as that banking goes away and you're still got a little bit of steering wheel angle in the car. You're still turning a little bit and the car's right on edge and it doesn't take much and then off it goes. Here's a good view from the visor cam.
Right in front. 2 of them. Checking out wrecking top. Coming back down to the middle.
Oh, man.
Coming down to your right.
He had the first part of it missed, and this came right in front of him, it looked like.
And you're just guessing, trying to figure out where they're going to be sliding, where their momentum's going to take them, and all it takes is one car to hit them and deflect them somewhere else. But you said it, Joey. I don't even know that he even touched him. If he did, it wasn't much. Like you said, the cars are very, very light there, and the least little bit of change in direction behind you can upset your car and take it out.
The one thing that you can't really see from the cameras in these cars, they have a little crown to the back bumper and the front bumper, and if you get offline just a little bit, this is exactly what happens. man, some big hits there.
I tell you, and it's amazing you see how fast they're going.
Pulled me from behind. Gives me the bumper, probably the worst place to.
You can see Dylan Lupton there, a little frustrated about where the bump came from.
Yeah, and right now, you know, Truex is thinking to himself, dang it. You know, that was from the pit road speeding, and we talk so much about track position and the things that happen and, you know, the mistakes. And this is a direct result of why you want to keep track position, because it gives you a better chance to keep yourself in the front of the pack. But you can wreck there, too.
Yeah, it was. He was running third there at the end of the stage, and, you know, unfortunately that happened. But it's part of speedway racing sometimes.
Yes, it is. And there's only one way to learn, and that's to get out there and do it.
That is very true.
Well, we've had our first caution for an accident. I would say most likely it won't be our last.
Welcome back to NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Talladega Superspeedway. If you're just tuning in, here's a quick repack. Elliott Sadler starting from the back, working his way up to the front. Wow, look at those moves right through the middle. That's pretty impressive, Ricky.
Yeah, Daniel Hemrick, our Stage 1 winner, has led every green flag lap so far. His best restrictor plate finish was 26 so far in his career.
Oh, here we go. Earlier in the race, Christopher Bell, flat left rear tire. What a save. Pretty impressive. He's in the pit box here trying to get that thing fixed. Having some problems with the brake lines. We'll have to see if he can rebound from this tough start.
And that brings us to where we are now. Shane Lee gets into the back of the number 28 of Dylan Lupton, causing a major crash down the back straightaway. Had some casualties there. You know, one of the things that I look at in this wreck is, you know, I know Ryan Truex is probably kicking himself right now for the mistake he made on pit road that got him there. But the bummer thing for Ryan Truex is this will be his first finish outside of the top 15 this year.
Ooh, big hit here, too. Right in the side of Ty Majeski. So far, it looks as though everyone was able to get out of their cars, and we'll hopefully catch up with him from the care center. Involved in the wreck, Ryan Truex, Kaz Gralla, Dylan Lupton, Chad Fincham, Ty Majeski, and Spencer Boyd. As you see the tow truck bringing the cars into the garage, these guys are done for the day. So Ricky, halfway through stage 2, lap 12 of 25 here under yellow, what stood out to you so far?
You know, I think for me, I haven't really seen many Xfinity races go single file that early for that amount of time. And, you know, I think Daniel Hemrick's doing an awesome job up front, making sure that those guys stay in line behind him. For you, as a 5-time winner here in the Cup Series, first, also an Xfinity win, what do you see out of this? You know, Daniel Hemrick leading the race. What can he do to stay there?
Well, what I see out of Daniel, he's managing the lanes pretty well. He's running the top, trying to block the big runs from coming behind him. That's always really important here at Talladega, but he hasn't made any mistakes. You talked about the speeding penalty on pit road, just absolutely killed Ryan Truex's day, but he hasn't made any of those mistakes on the track or on pit road. That's big, but I believe we have his crew chief to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I'm here with Danny Stockman, the crew chief on the 21. Danny, your race has been going okay from here. What are your concerns as the race plays out?
Well, you know, I don't really have any concerns being the leader. The concern is getting back in traffic and have happened what just happened. But the South Point City Light Shine Chevrolet has been really fast this weekend. We've been tuning this car up for the last few years, and we're just trying to get Daniel as much experience as we can, and he's doing one heck of a job today. And it's just a testament to everybody at RCR and ECR for the cars they build, and we'll see if we can't get it done today.
All right, good luck to you guys. Back to you guys in the hotel.
As Danny said, Daniel Hemrick off to a great start today. Second stage win of the season, but perhaps not off to a great start is Ryan Blaney with Ryan Truex in the care center.
Hey guys, I'm here with Ryan Truex. Unfortunate ending to the day. Looked like you had a really fast car. Talk us through what you saw.
Well, I got us in trouble by speeding on pit road, so that's 100% on me. Just messed up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I saw the 24 get squirrely or something. I just checked up and went low. I had one cleared. There you go. This is a good view. Of course, I got this camera when I got to avoid all this. So I'm just checking up here, and I missed him. And yeah, 60 just spun back. I thought he was gonna stay up, and he didn't. So tough day. Thanks to Bar Harbor, Sea Watch. It's Talladega, man. We had a fast car, and fortunate that we can't race for a win with it.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm sorry I'm talking to you right now,
It's
but
all right.
you had a good run, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Back to you in the hotel.
A tough day for Ryan Truex, but when we come back, we'll go back to green here. Talladega Superspeedway, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series 300 laps, or 300 miles at Talladega on Fox.
Well, we're back at Talladega, and now we've got a few clips of Brad and his daughter.
See little
so
Scarlett
cute.
there.
All dressed up, looking good.
She is the best little girl. I tell you, she has got great manners, and she looks just like her mother, thank God.
Yeah, and we finally found something that Michael Waltrip can do while he's not doing anything today. He went and got us pizza. Thank you,
some
Mike.
of that, Brad. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys have going on down there, but we've got full-service pizza delivery up here.
Well,
thank you, Michael.
I had a couple drink deliveries. I'm waiting on our ice cream. It's a hotel. It's pretty nice. It's got room service.
I happen to think I could do a little better job of this if I had drink deliveries, as a matter of fact.
We're going to deliver you some beer down there, Brad, because you guys need to lighten up a little bit. I got Boyer up here.
Boyer's lit.
Boyer,
I'm just kidding.
Logano had 2 beers before we went on air.
Boyer does not need alcohol. From what I can tell, he's got enough left in him from last night.
Big time last night.
I had. It's always a big time at Talladega, but the big one on the Boulevard and the the parade and everything we did, some of the redneck events. Michael was we were all judges of that thing. Bubba was up there. I don't know if you saw his Instagram picture or whatever it was, maybe on Twitter, but it was so fun to see those people having fun and just being able to interact with the fans is pretty special.
Let's hear the 21 radio down there.
Probably the intensity level is really going to get picked up here. So maybe we get single file and break away again, but I don't know.
What's after whatever happens here?
Just so you know, at the next stage, do not slide them, okay? Do not slide them. We have a plan here that we're going to have to work to. It's going to benefit us.
Well, it sounds like they just told everyone their plan by not sliding the tires. But, 10 to go here at the end of the stage. They're already too wide. I don't think they're going to go single file so quick this time as they come down here for the end of the stage.
Yeah, and I really think as we come to green, I think the laps keep ticking off. At some point, you have to try to establish that track position, and now might be the time. We just never know what they're thinking. Somebody's going to have to dictate what happens in the race.
It's go time.
Definitely saw Daniel Hemrick choose the inside line there. He has Elliott Sadler as a pusher. That was probably a good decision on his part.
You see that worked out well, and now he's got to make the decision, what lane do you want to push? And this is where the spotter helps a lot, where he can see these 3 cars behind him, Elliott Sadler, all those team cars, they're going to start pushing, and he's going to tell Daniel Hemrick what lane to move. And now the runs maybe come from the top and move back up the racetrack. But that's what happens when you're late to the block, and you're going to lose the lead.
2x2.
And that is so easy to do, to be late to the block, especially on the restarts, because of the fact that energy is building up, and it's different than the pace that it was when you're at full speed.
Yeah, the timing of that is so, and then he missed that block right there, and that's just a learning thing right there. He'll learn from that.
Hole.
Maybe he ain't going to be able to get in the hole either, and he's definitely in the sucker hole right there. I think we're going to see the 1 car and those 3 team cars right there at the front of this thing.
7 now inside.
It makes me think the top lane's going to roll here for a little bit as these cars try to reform on that bottom lane, which they do pretty quick, which means that Elliott Sadler and those Junior Motorsports cars are pretty quick.
And his crew chief just warned him of this.
Yeah.
And as a driver, it's hard to anticipate everything that's going to happen, but the crew chief had just told him, the intensity is going to pick up, and you can see that there's a lot more happening than what we've had in the first stage.
I see that outside line really pushing hard and having a lot of momentum. It seems like you could see that accordion down that back straightaway like we see.
And Ryan Reed in that Mustang, he's won a couple of these super speedway races, so he knows what he's doing up there as well.
And you see on this restart, obviously the 21 car is your leader, and he's in charge of when you go. But really, he went because the 7, the 5, and the 1 all had a chain reaction there, and it shot him out there.
He didn't have an option but to go.
Yeah, that was pretty extreme right there.
And that's just that anticipation of trying to decide when everybody's going to go. And obviously, they started to go a little bit earlier than what they thought the leader was. But here you see Daniel sticking his hand out the window, trying to get that train started so they don't do that, and it still happened. Bubba, what do you have on the 1?
Yeah, well, we talked about the 1 trying to save a little bit of fun for earlier. I'd say he's having enough fun on his pit stop earlier. They didn't do any tires, just fuel. Said he was a little bit free through the tri-oval, so definitely having some fun out in the front.
And I'm surprised here. I didn't think it'd go single file so quick. I think everyone's so scared of losing that track position, they all move to the top, and it makes it happen quicker than what we think. Blaney, what do you got down there in the care center?
Hey, guys, I'm here with Dylan Lupton, and unfortunately, it looked like the 3 just got Indy off of 2 where you lose that bank and it got you crossed up, and it seemed like it was kind of game over from there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to be out of the race so early.
Yeah, we're on that restart. We're on the high side, and the 3 was just right on me coming off of turn 2, and you lose a little bit of banking there. And with him on me, I just got me sideways, and it's hard to keep it going straight after that point. So I'm just it's disappointing that our number 28 Think Technology Partners Mustang is out. I think we could have had a good run, but that's just how super speedway racing goes sometimes.
Well, I hate to be talking to you out here if that's any consolation, but good run today. Hopefully next week's better for you. Back to you guys in the booth.
And that's tough for these teams. You see so many of these guys that make the commitment to come here, race every week, and they come to the super speedway thinking that they have a chance to win and get a great finish. And that's tough for those guys because a lot of them don't have the budget to wreck and rebuild these cars.
And so much emphasis into these race cars, making them, aero as good as you possibly can. Trips to the wind tunnel, countless hours fluffing and buffing on these race cars, and to go out there and get it all tore up where you can't even bring it back for another event. It makes it very, very taxing on those smaller teams like that.
See a little gap here starting to form between that first pack and second pack. And, as I look there, I see the 21 back there trying to make moves, and it just seems like nobody wants to follow him. Eric, what do you have?
Guys, I'm down here in the 9 pit box. Tyler Reddick has had some voltage issues earlier in the day. Has seemed to have fixed those by turning his AC off, but as you know, I don't think that's necessarily something you want to do as a driver. I was in Chicago last year and ran about 400 laps, or 400 miles with no AC. And today in Talladega, as hot as it is, it's not going to be very fun for him.
Oh, toughen up, Eric.
But this place is tough because the air just does not. It seems like the car just gets heat soaked, and it just is hot on these super speedways.
And guys, one thing I see out of Reddick right here in the 9 car is him dipping down and trying to run that low line as he got into the corner. That's how they're going to catch that front pack and then pull back up on them.
Ryan?
Hey guys, I'm here with Ty Majeski. Unfortunately, you just got hooked, and that's the worst feeling. But you had a really good run today. It looks like you were learning more. Talk us through how your day was.
Yeah, we just my teammate and I were trying to play it safe in the first stage. We got in a comfortable spot between those 2 packs, and we're just riding. We're just going to try and make it to the second stage and go racing from there. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Can't thank everyone enough at Roush Fenway Racing and Ford Performance for giving me this opportunity. We wanted to come out here with a good run today. It hasn't been the start that any of us wanted for the 60 car, but just unfortunate end to the day, and we'll go get them at Dover.
Yeah, well, good luck at Dover next week. Back to you, boys.
Well, we see it feels like the energy in that front pack is a little bit different than it was at the end of the first stage. And I feel like right now Daniel Hemrick feels like his car is so fast that he's trying to make something happen. And every time it kind of gets him shuffle back a little bit.
Yeah, your patience definitely, starting to run out. You have 4 to go to the end of the stage. You're sitting back there. You're almost at the tail end of that pack anyway. You think, well, what do I got to lose? And you see Daniel Hemrick keep making runs down in the bottom, trying to make it happen, but no one's going with him right now. And you see that second group kind of fall apart as that happens. Bubba, what do you got on the 21 down there?
The mistake that he made, the misjudge on the block, and you look at the mistake that the 11 made that really cost him his race. So hoping for a better outcome for the 21, but he's trying to make moves, trying to make something happen. I think he's got a little bit of confidence from that first stage win to see who will work with him to learn for the end of the stage, end of the race.
Well, right now he's learning that nobody will work with him.
That's what I was going to say.
Ricky, what do you have on strategy down there?
Well, I don't really have much on strategy, guys, other than looking at, one of the cars in the top 10 that started at the rear of the field, other than Elliott Sadler, is a 35 of Joey Gase. Underfunded team, running really well today. I know he's probably smiling as he's running in the top 10 right now.
That is a great run for him. And something I see interesting too is these Dash for Cash cars. You see the 22 of Austin Cindric and Christopher Bell. They're running 14th and 15th right now, probably just making sure they have something to race with at the end. But you see the other side of that, Elliott Sadler, Matt Tifft running up in the top 5, trying to score those stage points and keeping their car with that track position to try to win that $100,000 at the end of this thing.
Yeah, and as we come to 1 to go for the end of this second stage, you'll see Ryan Reed in second and Spencer Gallagher. The 23 team, what an improvement that those guys have had this year from where they were last year to running up in the top 5. They was in the Dash for Cash last week, and here they are contending again.
I think it's just the commitment there that he and his father, family, everybody over there at GMS is working very, very hard, and it's showing each and every week. They just keep getting better and better. Definitely a force to be.
Well, we got 1 to go here. When are they going to start making this happen here?
They're trying. It just seems like this outside line from the word go has been the place to be. Obviously, we all, as competitors, want to see them guys get down to the bottom. I feel like they need to get down there and formulate a line, and I think they can prevail, but it just doesn't seem to be the case so far.
And Clint, I think some of that is the inexperience in this pack. They don't know how to build the runs as well as some of the Cup guys do at this point, and you see them just, you know, kind of keeping that car length in between all of them, where there's no runs being built, and it looks like Elliott Sadler's going to bring it home for the stage win.
Looking high, clear by 2, clear by 2, clear by 2.
Elliott Sadler gets his second stage win of the year. You see him finally get side by side there at the end of the second stage, but I can tell you, I do not believe that this is going to end this way. They're going to have to start pushing and shoving at some point, but Elliott Sadler, the old experienced guy here,
Team
wins
old
another
guy.
stage. Team old guy. Well, we've had our first two stages completed at this particular point of the race. Daniel Hemrick with the first win, Elliott Sadler with stage 2 win. And luckily the commercial ended because it ended an argument as to whether Clint Boyer was in the old guy category or not. So, Boyer, why don't you dial Sadler up?
I'm not plus 40 yet.
Not yet. Not yet. They got to pit first.
Oh, yeah, we'll let him do his
We're a little
job.
screwed up.
Hey, just because you're in the plus 40 class doesn't mean you have to drag me in with it.
You're quickly approaching the 40 and over.
Very quickly.
I was telling him off the air that it's a lot nicer when Adam and Michael are up here because of the fact that they don't treat me so bad.
Guys, I
Bubba?
Yeah, there's the one car, stage winner of Elliott Sadler's having a little bit of issue with the left side of their rear deck lid. It's popped up, so they're just asking a NASCAR official here to see if they can get clearance to fix it, but I think they just got approved.
You know, I bet you that came on that restart or the start when they accordion. I saw when he hit Hemrick, his hood was buckled up, but as hard as they hit each other, I'd say he got some damage right there.
Yeah, the back bumper's caved in on the car, and what that does is it usually pushes the tail down.
Which usually isn't a good thing, but it's still going pretty fast. Here's a replay of that restart. You see everyone just say go before Hemrick said go. It came from the 7 all the way back there.
That's just an accordion thing. Obviously, Elliott was inching up to him, and they thought that he was already on him and took off, and boy, they hit each other hard.
All right, boys. Here we go. Coming to pit road. Will we see any mistakes this time? Bubba?
All right, so we got the 1 and the 16 on pit road for me. Both cars pretty similar on that run there, needed stability. They did not take tires on either car. I think they're both coming in for 2 left side tires on the 1 of Elliott Sadler and both on the 16. And off to you, Ryan. What do you got?
Justin Allgaier down here in the 7. They took no tires last time, going to do 2 right side tires this time. And he said the car was handling a lot better that run. So we'll see. Reporting you live from the mid-20s club. Over to Eric.
We got Spencer Gallagher down here for 4 tires, and they're going to make an air pressure adjustment to help free up their exit. They've been a little tight off all day. Kevin, can you please send some pizza down? We're slaving on pit road, sweating, and haven't had anything to eat.
Absolutely. Michael, you think you can take Eric some pizza?
You're not doing anything anyway. You think you can deliver some pizzas there,
The
Michael?
mid-20s club.
The mid-20s.
I like to say I'm bringing that in the booth here.
Guys, I saw a mistake right there.
Why don't you dial the old guy club up there, Boyer?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have a little fun. Elliott Sadler, it's Boyer, and the boys up in the booth. Boy, you looking good. I just got to know, how did you do that? You went from dead last to the lead, stage winner once again.
Yeah, man, we got a fast race car, Clint, and, you know, we were just able to make some good moves there at the beginning and get some track position, but I don't know, man, it's kind of scary. It's almost like it's the calm before the storm. Everybody's giving each other plenty of room and riding up against the wall a little bit. It's almost like everybody's saving their stuff for the end.
Well, it's certainly been entertaining to watch you go up through there. You know you got a fast, hot rod. I enjoy the fact that you're able to do that because, hey, if you win this baby today, I got that same spotter with me tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to listening to him.
Yeah, Tim, I'm trying to get him warmed up a little bit for you today.
We've got a 51 smoking down there on the bottom.
Yeah, I think we blew up.
Sounds like you blew up. Man, that's unfortunate.
He's done a great job. They've had some good runs over the last few weeks. When we come back from break, we will find out exactly what happened to that 51 car.
4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Talladega. Quick recap as we're about halfway through this race. Elliott Sadler starting from the rear, unapproved adjustment, driving his way back through the field. Middle 3, look out.
Lap 33, stage 2, big wreck. Number 3 of Shane Lee gets into the 28. Huge mess, 6 cars involved in that one.
Well, those were some tough hits, Ricky. Bumper to bumper on the restart here. Daniel Hemrick getting a good push from Elliott Sadler, but then he loses the lead to Elliott Sadler.
Stage 2 winner, Elliott Sadler, who is competing in the Dash for Cash, looking for that 100 grand. I won one of those races when I was in the Xfinity Series. That 100 grand, you drive a little bit harder.
Oh, you do. He's off to a good start, but hey guys, our ice cream just showed up, so I think it's time to toss it back to the booth.
Well, we don't have any ice cream. Mike, is there any way you can go get us some ice cream now? Okay. Well, we've had pizza and ice cream. But I think as you look at pit road, we see Christopher Bell. He's pitted 6 times.
Yep.
And I don't think there's any other racetrack on the circuit where he could probably have fixed his car and now come back out and be in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just the time that it takes to get around this racetrack enabled them to make some pretty significant, adjustments and fixes to get that brake line or whatever it was back under control. And look, he's right back up front.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Joey. I think as you look at this race, when do you expect the intensity to pick up?
Man, I thought it would have picked up already. But, they crashed so much in Daytona. Maybe they're all just calmed back down. But I know at the end of this thing, when there's trophies and that pay window opens up, and for those Dash for Cash guys, they're going to say, show me the money.
We all know that from experience. I mean, this place is, and Elliott nailed it, it is definitely the calm before the storm.
We are halfway through this race, beginning the last stage, and you see Elliott Sadler just leap out there again. Eric, what do you have on the 20?
Yeah, the 20 car, Christopher Bell. They finally got all their issues fixed they had there from earlier from that flat tire. They told him he's ready to go out, challenge, race. They took fuel only there to get him some track position back and expect him to contend. Bubba?
Yeah, we're here with the crew chief on the 1 car. What is the issue with the damage, and do you think that's going to hurt the performance today?
We just got hit in the back on that restart. The one main financial Chevy's has good speed. It didn't seem to hurt it much, but we might try to patch it up a little bit on this next stop.
All right, good luck to you guys. Ryan, off to you.
Hey everybody, I got some news on the 51 of Jeremy Clements coming off an 8th place finish last week in Richmond. Unfortunately, had some engine issues. They thought they had a fuel pressure issue earlier, and the motor finally let go. There's a bunch of engine oil sitting there on the turn off into the pit. So unfortunate day for him after coming off such a strong week.
That's unfortunate for those guys. And we look at the Elliott Sadler car up in the front, and we talk about the beginning of this race kind of being pretty tame, I guess you could say, and the way that things have gone. You saw Shane Lee try to get a little bit aggressive, and he spun a guy out. But now they're going to have to start pushing and shoving. They're going to have to start figuring that out. So how do you do that, and where do you start?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed right away is we have new company up front. It was definitely Chevy driven. Now we've got Toyotas of Christopher Bell up there. We've got Ryan Reed up there, Custer and a Ford. You've got a lot of different manufacturers coming into the picture here to showcase. And then you see that bottom line starting to form rather than a top.
That's right. And so see, it really depends on where the leader goes. It seems like if the leader takes the bottom, they all follow him down there. And you see Austin Cindric trying to pull up that top. And then you see, like you said, some newcomers. You see Austin Cindric, he just gets shuffled out there a little bit by Cole Custer getting underneath him. You see Noah Gragson up there. These cars that weren't really showing much of anything the first 2 stages are starting to show up now as the race comes to the end.
We see the 20, well, we see the 9. Woo! Trying to make a move there, and you see Cole throw the block on him, and that's the type of thing that's going to happen at the end of this race. You're going to have to block. And there's an art to it.
Yes, there is. And you don't want to be late.
Yeah.
But, I think you also need to know who is behind you. Tyler Reddick, he's an aggressive race car driver. And when certain drivers are in my rearview mirror, I'm extra in the mirror waiting for them to slip me at any point to put me in a bad position. And I can tell you, if Tyler Reddick's behind me, I'm thinking, at what point is he going to try to make the move to pass me? Because he doesn't want to sit there. Bubba, what you got on the 21?
Yeah, the mistake that Daniel made earlier got them shuffled back. They, RC, old Pop on top of the box said, take a deep breath. You have a race-winning car, so take care of it. So they got a lot of confidence from that camp, seeing what they can do.
Yeah, and the hardest thing when you have a fast car is to keep yourself in line and let that strategy of the line get you back up there. 21 radio?
That's just our number to where we can make it from, okay? We're definitely going to go longer than that if it allows us. 10-4, you just got to give me a couple laps, make sure people pit with us, you know. We'll be pitting with whoever's around us, okay? If it's under green, it will be pitting with whoever's around us.
And that's a good point. You know, they cannot make it to the end of the race on fuel right now. They will have to pit. They won't have to pit for very long, going, you know, I think we can make 40 to 44 laps today. So, you know, you definitely have to pit with a group of cars if you do it under green here. And you might want to do it before the caution, which also sets you up for to when everyone cycles back around.
You can definitely tell the business is picking up in a big way. Things are getting wild. It's getting crazy. There's a lot of blocks. There's a lot of different company up front. All those guys that were sitting back those first 2 stages and being patient, all that's out the window. It's time to go.
And when you see that many cars changing lanes, usually that's an appetite for disaster. So and the other thing that you guys said that could be an appetite for disaster is all that water coming to pit road if they have to pit under green.
Track seeping.
Like drunks going to get more liquor.
Welcome back to Talladega, and as we come back, the pits are open, and this is where the strategy game starts, boys. Bubba?
Yeah, 16's coming down for right sides. It looks like, and some fuel. Pretty happy with the car overall. Gonna ship them out here. Off to you, Eric.
The 9-car Tyler Reddick coming down here on pit road. He's going to go ahead and take fuel only on this stop, try to keep some track position and see to the end. Ryan?
Justin Allgaier coming down, taking 4 tires and fuel. He lost a little bit of track position, made a little bit of contact with the 22. As you see the 22 come in and change those flat spotted tires, make a little bit of an adjustment. They hurt the nose a little bit. They'll send him back on his way.
So let's see why we're under caution.
And here you just see some tight racing. Yeah, you see Austin Cindric check up a little bit, let the 2 in, and
7 just nips him there.
Just barely. Doesn't take much.
Yeah, it looked like you were saying, Clint, it looked like the 22 checked up just a little bit there, and the 7 came up and just got him in the left rear just barely.
Yeah,
he was trying to get in the hole.
It's so funny how things happen before that sets that up to that chain reaction, and it just accordioned on him, and unfortunately looked like he got us some nose damage. But
let's hear some 7 radio.
I went to squeeze in between him and the 35, and I think he was debating on cutting left and going to the middle lane.
Yeah, it was kind of like that restart.
Yep.
Everything just kind of backed up there and going backwards instead of forward. So happens fast here. See the 2 go up, and down he goes. Welcome back to the Drivers Only broadcast. Throughout the season, Ford will be searching for the most passionate NASCAR fans to become the first ever inductees in the Ford Hall of Fans. To learn more, go to NASCAR.com/Ford. And speaking of drivers, moments ago in the Hollywood Hotel, apparently we had an ice cream eating contest.
You have got to be kidding me.
I'm glad to see they're working hard.
This is definitely a one-man race here.
Look at Ricky. Where's Ricky even looking at?
Ricky's like, where did we find this guy?
You think this is normal, or have we not done a good job of managing our media experience here?
You think they're just eating ice cream all the time?
Do you think they do that normally? Do you, Michael? Do you?
I mean,
nope.
Do you feel like Shannon and Larry are eating ice cream in the Hollywood Hotel? Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike.
Don't hate the hotel. The hotel's got a lot of great things going on here. It's got some great people, great staff. It's okay, guys.
What kind of ice cream are you eating? Was that an ice cream sandwich? Or?
It was actually a Klondike bar, in case you want to know.
Okay.
I think they're sponsoring the Junior Motorsports cars, so we probably got it for free. But that's okay.
Yeah, free is for me.
I tell you what, boys, while we were under break, I knew we had messed up when the door opened. I look over, and it's Mike Helton. When Big Daddy shows up, it's never a good thing.
I felt like we definitely said something we weren't supposed to say. But he said we were doing a good job, and he enjoyed listening to us. So that's pretty awesome.
Mike Helton with NASCAR. He is.
He pretty much
long-standing
boss.
I would look at boss when
he rules with that mustache, man.
He's kind of like
whatever he says.
When people talk, he listen. When he talks, people listen.
Yeah, we shut up. Definitely.
Yeah.
When he talks, we don't talk.
Have you guys noticed this Dash for Cash? To 2 cars on the front row racing for $100,000. I like how this is shaping up.
Show me the money. Here we come to the green flag here.
48 laps to go, boys. Coming to the restart. 2 guys racing for $100,000. The business is about to pick up.
I like it.
And this is where, we talked a little bit under the commercial break and how these inexperienced guys, we haven't been racing a whole bunch today. So a lot of this is trial and error on what they're going to do here in the next few laps and the moves they're going to make. So you're going to see a lot of mistakes. You're going to see some missed blocks. You're going to see some crashes. But this is definitely the time you want to see yourself up front. You see those 2 Gibbs cars that figured out down there with Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell. And then you see Elliott Sadler knowing what he's doing up front.
The number one thing I see going on right now is all these guys have lost their dancing partners. Somehow, some way, they're going to have to get situated again, going to have to line back up with your teammates because we all know from experience that's what it takes to get that winning move.
And from about 16th forward are the guys who didn't pit. And so we've got about a 10-lap window here of guys that are in different sections of pit strategy. So, Ricky, do you have anything to add on the strategy?
I do. Looking at some of those cars that kept coming back in and topping off, I like that move. I think, as you know, running around in the draft, you can save a ton of fuel and still keep up. So those cars that kept coming down pit road, my get-home lap was 69 to 68 that Larry Mack and I crunched the numbers on. So the 9, 16, 7, 22, 19, some of those cars that came down pit road, I think are in a great position coming into the end of this race. Some of these lead cars, not a lot of experience, are going to have to come down pit road. Maybe under green could be costly. Ryan, down to you.
Yeah, everybody, like you said, Ricky, I really like the call by the 22, the 7, a couple other cars that came down pit road and topped off. I talked to Brian Wilson, the crew chief of the 22. He said they're really, really close to making it, so he can take a little bit of time trying to get back up to the field to save a little bit of that gas in the draft like you talked about to see if they can run all the way to the end. Bubba, what do you got?
With the same thing that we've all been saying, the front runners that stayed out there, they are in desperate saving mode here. They're going to need several caution laps here to get that window open up for them. But this is Talladega. Cautions do breed caution, so it might fall into their hands. We'll see what we got. Back to you guys.
Man, I think these guys said, you know what, we're going to ride through these first 2 stages, and then we're going to race.
I bet you there's some spotters and probably crew chiefs saying, now there is 45 laps to go here, but I mean, that's what we love about this place. Whether you're a competitor or a fan, the heart rate goes through the roof, and this is what we live for.
Well, I was just going to say something about the 9 because I felt like last lap he was in the bottom lane. And this lap he's in the top lane. Eric, what's he got going on? Apparently his car changing lanes pretty good.
Well, it does look to be changing lanes pretty good, but he came down and topped off on fuel like Ricky was saying, and I agree that's a good move because if you look back to Daytona, he was the guy that barely made it on fuel and had the track position to get to the end and win the race. So hopefully it's going to work out the same for him today.
And we see some of those guys that came in and topped off at the end of that last pit cycle. You see a couple guys on that last pitted on lap 63. He's one of those guys that came back in the next lap and pitted on 64, and Cindric came in on 65. So there's a couple laps, and that could matter.
And it's not easy to move through this field. You see back here the 7 car of Justin Allgaier, right? He was up front, doing really well. He's got a fast car. He has made 0 progress since this race has restarted. So it is definitely, you get trapped back there, and there's only, where are you going to go? It's 3 wide. You got no lanes to move in, so you got to be patient. But You don't want to get in that crash. He's in the danger zone.
It definitely gridlocks. As wide as this track is, you're sitting there watching these cars and you're thinking, man, you can go whenever you want. But if you're not careful, you can get trapped back there, just like
yeah, and it sounds like the 7 car is sitting back in the pack saving gas, and he came and topped off as well. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this strategy plays out at the end. It's now time for the progressive race summary. We've seen a few leaders, and I think 7 lead changes, 8 lead changes, 7 leaders, 34 cars on the lead lap, 4 cautions, and 21 caution laps. And I think those caution laps are going to be more important for a lot of these guys that are playing the strategy at the end.
You hear he thinks his right front might be going down. You got these leaders who are all going to pit. And on the pit road, on the apron, it's wet. The track is seeping wet from when it rained here on Thursday, I believe. So this is going to be a big moment right here. Make sure everyone knows.
This is a big opportunity for something bad to happen. You can see the water coming on the pit road. Whoa!
Yep. Right. And then you can see he got right in that water. And he's going to be okay here. Well, I thought he was going to save that.
Bubba?
Yeah, Elliott Sadler's just coming down. Looks like for fuel only, as we've seen a big old mess getting on the pit road there. The 16 as well, just taking right sides. And it looks like they're going to do 4 tires here. But you know, the one's already off pit road, so down to you, Eric.
Inaudible here on the 42 car. The mishap coming onto the pit road, they're going to switch over. No, sorry, fuel only still, even after the spin. They're going to go down and away and try to make it to the end of the race.
Well, that was eventful.
You knew it.
We knew it was coming.
I said, well, I knew from qualifying. I saw that water, as we all did, coming on the pit road. And, man, when he came down there, he had a big head of steam. Always a good opportunity for something bad, catastrophic to happen. And also, the one car of Elliott Sadler was too fast entering. He probably did that when he saw the 42 coming on so fast.
He might have.
And he had to get around him because he was coming back across. So just a lot going on right there.
I tell you, and a speeding penalty right now at the end of the race, this is a tough time. Ryan, what do you got with the 98?
The 98 of Chase Briscoe bringing that Ford Mustang down for four tires and fuel, trying to get back out there and make it to the end of this race. Eric, what do you got?
It's when it came down, takes fuel only. He's going to do the same strategy, just trying to keep some track position here and trying to make it to the end of the race.
You saw those two teammates leaving, pitting on the same time together. I think you'll see a lot more of that tomorrow. That's something we all talk about playing and try to get out there because that's how you make the most time.
I had to. Y'all yelling at me about wrecking 42.
He was going to hit you if he did.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what you had to do. You had to speed up to try to protect your car. And, you know, the 42 was committed right here, and you're going to see him hit the water. And as soon as he hits the water, the thing starts to swap ends on him, and Elliott had to gun it to keep from getting T-boned in the left rear. So that was just that was a very unique situation that, fortunately for Elliott, didn't wind up in a wrecked race car. Unfortunately, it wound up in a penalty.
Well, and now you see some of the strategy all starting to play out. Justin Allgaier, Jeff Green, Austin Cindric, your top three right now. Those cars are the ones that are saving fuel, that pitted before we went green, and now you see them up here racing for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot going on right there. As we all know is coming when you have to pit, and some cars already pitted, some didn't. As you pitted with those teams, like I saw the Toyotas doing, you know, all that plays into how this all comes back together as they catch cars and get those runs and who establishes the lead again.
But you know, at this point, the 7, the 22, those cars are not saving fuel anymore. They got no one to back up to. They can't save. They can't lift. They got to be wide open all the way around to keep up with this little pack right in front of them.
And I think that it's important to explain how you can save fuel back there. When you're back in a pack and they're 2-3 wide in front of you, you can actually run around their half throttle and maintain speed, saving a lot of fuel doing so.
Well, it's all interesting because you have so many little packs, but let's hear what the 42 had to say.
Yeah, it's maintaining. It's not doing anything different. It's a wet spot getting on pit road and it split sideways. 10-4, I thought.
Well, here's a sign. That wet spot's been there for 3 days.
Yeah.
And that is something that the spotters should have definitely reminded him of coming to pit road, because when he came to pit road, he was committed to be passing the one car, in my opinion. He was trying to pass him coming to pit road. Ryan?
Just talked to Brian Wilson, the crew chief of the 22 car for Austin Cindric. Them and the 7 car who came down and pitted a few times in the last caution. They're going to try to make it to the end. They're very, very close, but they might be in the catbird seat if this thing goes green. If they get a little bit of drafting help, they could make this thing to the end.
I think the one part that's tough, you see Austin Cindric in that Fitzgerald Mustang has lost touch of Justin Allgaier a little bit. And you see he's already 2 seconds back. That'll keep growing until Austin's able to find a drafting partner.
And they're small groups right now. So you've got 5 cars, 3 cars, 2 cars, and they're all spread out, and they're all on different strategies, and we get to see how it plays out.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful day here in Salt Lake City for Monster Energy Supercross. 1 week ago in Foxborough, Marvin Musquin made contact with Eli Tomac on the final lap to take a controversial main event victory. Will there be paybacks today? Tune in after NASCAR Xfinity Series racing and find out. 5:30 p.m. Eastern, live on Fox.
Well, I can tell you, I'm excited for that because I want to see round 2.
Absolutely. Musquin wiping it. He didn't. That wasn't contact. He wiped him out.
Hey, baby, we're going for the win.
And this Anderson's running away with it. All he's got to do is stay healthy, and he's got it. But, man, I'm looking forward to it. Sparks are going to fly. They better.
Does he pay him back?
Well, I would, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Well, you see these cars here racing really hard to stay on the lead lap. That's the leader, Justin Allgaier, right behind them. And they're racing each other, trying to stay on the lead lap here.
Yeah, and really the 7 is in the catbird seat, I think. I mean, he's found a pack. If he can get those guys back single file and if he can save enough gas, I mean, there's really nobody that's going to catch him.
They're definitely managing the race, and it's working in their favor right now.
What is a catbird seat?
It's a really good seat, that the cat sits in to
look
watch
at birds.
the bird.
Okay.
I think that's what Michael told me. I'm just going with what Michael tells me.
You got to be careful in here with Michael being a stat guy, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of what we get thrown to is a board that says, who's in the catbird seat?
Yeah, well, and the other thing, earlier we had Michael Waltrip was the best restrictor plate racer ever.
21 feature wins.
21 feature
here.
wins.
Yeah,
so our stats are a little skewed. Well, I think as you look at this, the thing that we've probably forgotten a little bit, as we've talked about all the strategy of the race, we see Austin Cindric here in second, and he is the lead Dash for Cash car. And he's the guy these 4 guys are racing for $100,000 that are highlighted in red on your screen. They're also highlighted in red on our screen because we need to see that. And that's a big deal for these guys. Let's hear some 22 radio.
Right now, I feel like you've been aggressive enough to save what you need to save. Just pedal it if you can, but you need to stay in the lead right there. That'll be faster. Copy that. 40% at the moment.
Yeah, and that's so hard to know.
Yeah.
With how much gas you've saved, and especially if you haven't done it a lot, you have to save gas, and you just don't know how much you're saving.
And you can see right there, almost a second. Allgaier in the lead's a 49.52. He's saving running a 50.72. So massive savings going on right there.
Ricky, what do you have down there?
Well, Larry and I were crunching the numbers here. The 7 car is going to have to stretch it to 48 laps on his fuel. He was saving pretty aggressive at the start of this last run. Did not try and work his way up through the field. And looking at lap times, nobody's going to catch him. As long as he keeps picking up cars in his line, I think no caution comes out. He's looking to be your winner right now.
Rick, I mean, do you think that, he's a second and a half faster than the other groups. Is that using more gas or less gas? What do you think?
Well, look at this whole thing, right? I mean, if Justin Allgaier, he's up front. If he runs out of gas, Cindric wins. If Cindric runs out, Smithley, Miller, McLeod, Martins, all these guys, you imagine one of those guys bringing home the win. Talk about the underdog situation with a great shot at maybe making it happen today.
Eric, what do you have on the 9?
Guys, I just wanted to point out that he's the first car that's pitted, and he's in that position because of him coming down to top off, and he had a shorter fueling amount of time here on this last stop. So he's in a really good position here to make a run for the checkered flag.
Guys, one of the things that I noticed on the 22 was we heard them talking about saving is he has some nose damage. It looked like the splitter was pretty high. I wonder if he would do better saving and running faster if he was to let a couple of those cars by.
But if he lets them go, he loses a spot.
Yeah, and I think the other problem is his car is so much faster than the cars that he's with. If he's not leading the train, I think it's going to slow down, don't you?
Well, my question was with the damage that he has, it definitely shows that his splitter is quite a bit higher than most.
Well, we've got Justin Allgaier leading, Austin Cindric running for $100,000 in second.
I'm gonna leave it all out there to dry. I'm gonna leave it all out there. I'm gonna leave it all out there to dry. Oh.
You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series live from Talladega, drivers only broadcast. Ricky Stenhouse, Brad Keselowski here. Justin Allgaier leading what looks like it might be a fuel mileage race. Austin Cindric second with $100,000 on the line. What do you see so far, Ricky?
Well, right now I see that Justin Allgaier is still sitting, as Kevin and those guys were saying, in the catbird seat. And I think right now he's smiling, just praying that there's no cautions. But when I look at the leaderboard, you know, this race is still going to make you eligible for the Dash for Cash at Dover. I'm looking at some of the top four that could be eligible for that Dash for Cash. Smithley, Miller, maybe even BJ McLeod, some of those cars, they're getting excited right now.
Well, the race is starting to wind down, but still a long ways to go. 20-some laps this time at the line. Kevin, back up to you.
Yeah, we have a problem up here, and apparently Boyer has the biggest problem with it. Cindric said that if he won the $100,000, what would he buy?
An 83 Volvo station wagon with a Mustang engine? What?
I mean, the only way you can make it better
stat?
is put a Mustang engine in it, but it's a freaking Volvo station wagon.
You know how many friends you can get talked into riding with you in your 83 Volkswagen station wagon? Absolutely, grand total of 0.
Yeah. I don't think the chicks are going to dig that ride.
No.
No.
All right, let's see what happened here. And you know, I think this is about what we were talking about, though. I think this is about the speed of that group and the cars that Cindric was running with. Is it from the damage on his nose? Is it from the cars in his group? But that shows you how fast, you know, the 1 and the 16, how much faster they were.
How
so
much
is he saving
slower
more gas?
he was, 40%.
Is he saving more gas now behind him?
He should be. Now that he has cars behind him and in front of him, he should be able to run at less throttle, which helps secure him that possible victory if Justin Allgaier was to run out of gas.
Bubba, what do you have on the 01? Who's running fourth?
Yeah, the 01, a couple big notes there. The two cars of JD Motorsports running third and fourth. 0 is biting their nails. They're super close. The 01 of Vinnie Miller is the water temp is pegged. So they're really worried about that and really close on fuel as well. But another big thing is that we're at the biggest track on the circuit, and Kevin Harvick still has to wear glasses. He really is getting old.
Who was that? Who was that talking?
That was
What's
Bubba.
that guy's name?
Bubba.
He drives the 43 tomorrow.
Okay. I hadn't seen that car much this year. So
Were
I
you-
didn't know.
Just for a few laps at Bristol.
He earned that one.
He did. He did.
What do you got down there, Bubba?
Oh, you know, yeah, you already said it. I did lead some laps at Bristol. You were nowhere in the picture, getting outrun by a couple guys that are up there with you. So, but yeah, where were you at in that picture? Everywhere else, I'll give you.
I don't know, but I lapped you twice after that.
I did hold you off for 40 laps at Texas.
2 laps
That was
in the
badass.
sunshine, and now he's off to the race.
You're looking good down there. You're looking good. Well, that's what this is all about, though. I mean, I felt like last year we were just all nervous as all get out.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, I was.
That was one of the few times I actually saw Kevin nervous, and it was pretty awesome.
And now a quick word from Duracell. Oh, 2 cars off the pace.
Looks like a right front down.
Yeah, splitter looks on the ground there.
That was a bird. I thought it was a piece of the
And
tire.
I see
that
tire
bird?
everywhere, don't you guys? I mean, I really want to see a caution right here.
It's amazing the difference on perspective of what you see and don't see from the booth to the track.
And if he drops some debris here, this will be the caution. You wonder what caused it, if it was contact or just a piece of debris, something he ran over.
Wore out. A lot of laps on these tires.
That's true, too.
And what a good tire, though, right? Goodyear's done a great job of giving us good tires that we can run these long runs that we've seen today.
Right. So when the crew chiefs force it, when you have a tire that doesn't wear much, you say, all right, we can keep going, and then you see them run these strategies out to fuel, not necessarily to tire wear, which is what we're seeing here right now.
but very lucky to have a right front tire go down. We've seen it time and time again. Usually it blows the whole front end off of it, rips the right front fender off. Very lucky to get it to pit road here and get it changed.
In the 42, he's still on the same tires he spun out on.
I think they did a good job of watching that incident and noticing that he never slid the tires, didn't, hold the brakes and slide them and have a flat spot or anything else. So I think that was a safe, smart move.
Ricky, I know that you have some information on it too, but when you get done with that, let us know exactly where you think the 7 car is on fuel and how much he needs to save.
Well, Larry Mack just informed me that the 2 car last took right side tires on lap 28 of this race. Brad and I were sitting here talking that very well could have easily slid those coming to pit road under that green flag pit stop. And man, like I said, the 7 car was going to have to go 48 laps. I had in our notes that 40 to 44 laps was going to be a fuel window. So I feel like where he's been running, how he's been saving, I feel like he's going to make it.
Well, there you have it.
Know.
They've got all the information down there.
They got Larry Mack down there.
That's right.
It's a wealth of knowledge, that guy.
Have you ever won on fuel mileage?
No. Have you?
Never?
Never won one on fuel mileage. Lost
them all
on fuel mileage.
I have. Few of them.
I won a couple of them
There's
as well.
nothing more nerve-wracking. It's like the car just gets quiet. They're in there, they're telling you save, and it's like, it's just silence in there. You hear everything. You're trying to back off. You're trying to be as easy as you can on the throttle. Here, you're trying to draft as good as you can off of them and feather that thing be. If you're telling them I'm 40%, you make darn sure that it's 40%.
And there's no fuel gauge in there. You don't really know how much you saved, how much you got left, and a lap around here is a long time, right? If you mess up by 2 laps, you're not even going to finish the race, So
and you got to remember, you're calculating those numbers on how much you saw, visually saw go in the tank, and then how much is on the ground, and trying to put that into the equation.
How do you
and
measure
what that weighs. There's
how
a
do you
lot
measure
of
fuel
unknowns.
spill? Right?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of little different tricks. Some guys run a detent spring in the pedals so that the top of that detent is 70% of the throttle, so you can kind of guess at the feel of the pedal from what you're getting in the foot. But I think as you look at the visor cam here, I mean it doesn't really give it the same perspective, I guess you could say, as far as what you're trying to do from a fuel mileage saving. But the perspective that we do get for the cars and the moving around and all the things that are happening, well, I'm blind. I am blind. Go ahead, say it.
We were talking about how Chase Briscoe, and now he's wide open, but he's seeing pedal in here, 3/4 throttle, back to wide open, trying to maintain that gap, saving a little bit of fuel here.
But I think to Kevin's point, the hardest thing is he might be thinking that that's 40-50%, and as we see right there, it's 75, and might just be the thing that runs him out of the gas.
Yeah, because it's going to come down to drops of fuel. Yeah, most likely, and that's the way that these crew chiefs figure the gas mileage and the way that they're going to pit, and sometimes you take a chance and sometimes you don't. So I feel like there's a couple of them that are taking a chance, and I feel like I don't know. Right. I feel like somebody knows that they weren't going to make it, and not taking as big a chance might win the race.
But what a weird race, right? I mean, this is Talladega. I'm looking here. Justin Allgaier is leading by 24 seconds. You just don't see that at Talladega.
Bubba?
Yeah, the 0 and the 0-1, like we keep talking about them, they are super close, really rolling the dice. But their plan is to stay out. And if they do and this race finishes like it is, it'll be a career day for their team there.
And what a great day it would be. I mean, that's what we talked about at the beginning of this race. Everybody feels like they have a shot. And whether it's just from surviving the wrecks or putting yourself in a position in a spot just like this in a fuel mileage race, because you have survived and because you're part of the race today at Talladega, that anything could happen, and strategy is the card of the day.
These restrictor plate tracks have always been an opportunity for some of these teams that are struggling, needing funding for the rest of the year. A great run here, a win here could just be what they need to solidify that next deal that they have coming down the pike for the rest of the season.
And here's another big piece of that. Top 4 Xfinity guys qualify for Dash for Cash next week for a chance to win $100 grand. You imagine what $100 is for Johnny Davis and those cars, when you see those the 0 to 0-1, BJ McLeod, those guys, man, that would be a huge deal for their race teams.
And as we talk about the Dash for Cash, we have 4 drivers. We have Austin Cindric, who is running second. We have Christopher Bell, who is running 10th. Elliott Sadler, who had to come back in for the pit road speeding penalty, is running 22nd. And Matt Tift also had to come in for a flat right front tire. So we've got Dash for Cash guys all over the place. But right now, Austin Cindric is in line to win the $100,000.
I tell you what, I know you expect anything here at Talladega, but I did not see this type of race playing out here today after seeing what Daytona was all about.
This is 10 to go.
Bubba, you got the 78?
Yeah, the 78 down on pit road, they were really hoping that the caution would fall into their hands. They were really trying to pull it there, but just unfortunate end of their great run that they were having.
And I feel like there might be more of that as we have some of this play out. Like, where they were hoping that the strategy would play out, but they might not have been telling us that maybe they needed a caution. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, Michael said there's a 100% chance a caution had come out, but that was 60 laps ago. You're not looking good.
Too.
Michael has worn this dry eraser board out for us today. He's been giving us some
useless
good stats.
Information.
Yeah.
Lots of useless information.
Oh, man.
Look at him riding back there.
Right back here. Mike,
what are you writing this
Wave
time?
at us. Wave at them all.
Oh. Do you want to show that one to the TV?
No.
Okay.
Uh-oh, 21's flat tire. Now this one could
that
be the
could
caution
bring the
we're
caution.
looking for.
This is a game-changing moment right
Caution's
here.
out, guys.
Oh, man.
And Allgaier went, oh, come on. It's like another case of just running very, very long on the right front. And Tift is also another RCR car, so 2 RCR cars at right fronts blowing out. Does a good job of keeping it off the wall, but the fender's definitely torn up pretty bad.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about their cars being a little bit tight there, in the one of the first 2 stages. So that's a result of some excess tire wear. But man, Allgaier had a 25-second lead, and now it is just gone.
Here's the fender damage that I was talking about earlier. This is the normal right front when you blow at a restrictor plate fast track like this.
Now here's where it gets kind of interesting. What do these guys do that have been stretching enough fuel? I think they stay out, but some of these cars may think, man, we got green-white checkers.
They're
going
to
wad them up.
Plan on that.
I think you got to stay out. If you're in the lead, you can't pit from the lead, but if there's a green-white checker, there's no way they're going to finish this race. This caution is going to help them save some fuel, but if there's a green-white checker,
I think
they're in trouble.
Daytona had 3 green-white checkers.
I don't think it's ending anytime soon.
What are you hearing down there, Ricky?
Well, that 21 car, same situation as the 2, had not put rights on since lap 28. So that's something to look at for us, for tomorrow. To Joey's point, whether you pit or not, if I'm the crew chief, I'm a little worried. I've seen the way these Xfinity races can end with, cautions breed cautions, green-white checkereds. I'm a little nervous. I'd probably bring her down pit road.
From the lead even, huh? That's
I don't know. I mean, you don't want to run out, but I don't know. I just feel like could be more cautions. They've been riding around single file for so long, they're ready to race.
One thing I know about Patty, your crew chief, is he'll gamble. If you don't want to, he will.
We'd stay out.
Well, I think the interesting thing at this particular point is you've got all the strategy and these guys cutting it really close on fuel. It's going to be bumper cars at this particular point, and the possibilities of having overtime finish, at least one, are high at this particular point. So do you gamble on the fuel, or do you say, okay, I know we're going into overtime and I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and come pit?
I think anytime you come to Talladega, you're gambling when you get on that racetrack. So put the cards on the table, let's roll the dice.
I think it depends on who you are, right? If you're one of those cars that don't typically have a chance to win and this is your chance, don't give it up by coming in and taking fuel. Go for it.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out because the pits are going to be open, and we're going to see how the strategy plays out. And I think as you say, you're leading the race. Do I just play it out and see if we don't have the overtime finishes, or do I come to pit road? And I guess right now we're getting ready to see exactly how close these crew chiefs are cutting it, and whether they need fuel.
Smithley, Vinnie Miller, those guys. This is your shot.
Well, there's a lot on the line as you come to pit road. Let's hear what the 22 has to say.
All right, man, we're going to stay out right here. I need you to save some fuel. If we get another caution, it's going to probably extend the distance. At that point, we'll come for fuel. But for right now, we're going to leave you out there and see what we get.
Well, there's our answer.
Yeah, I stand corrected. Joey, you're right. They all stayed out.
You know, you just got to risk it to get the biscuit. Who said that yesterday? Someone said that in our production meeting.
Well, we have a lot of things playing out here, and I don't know what that means, but we're going to take a break.
I'm ready.
So, you know, I think as we look at the strategy, obviously you were right, and we have to tell you
the first
that
time
you were
you've
right.
ever told me that.
Yeah, you were right. But I think as you see the zero car who was running third right there run out of gas, does that make you nervous? Or what do you
Made me
think?
nervous. I mean, he wasn't even close.
Yeah, not even close.
Brad, Ricky, what do you guys think? Are you nervous down there, or has Larry Mack got you straight?
Actually, I think the 7 and 22 have the right strategy here, Ricky. They're going to stay out and hope that this thing stays green. Yeah, right. and then they'll have enough fuel. But if it doesn't work out and they get a yellow, they have to pit. They'll come back to only about 12th.
Yeah.
As we saw, Elliott Sadler, he drove through the field, Ricky, and he got up to the front in no time. So with only 12 cars on the lead lap, I think this is a good call.
I'm still up in the air. There's only 14 cars on the lead lap. You pit, you start 14th, but I guess you pit later, and you still start 14th. So I like the gamble. I thought Allgaier was going to make it under green anyway, so stay out there. Ryan?
Hey everybody, I'm here with the crew chief, Brian Wilson. They're on the same strategy as the 7 with pitting and trying to make it to the end, and it looks like they're going to stay out here. It's been a pretty up and down day for you guys, but it was almost too good to be true. What do you guys think for the end of this race?
Yeah, exactly. It definitely was too good to be true right there. It was playing out to be a really good situation for us. Now, obviously, we're going to have to race for it. I don't know how much that damage has hurt us, but, Fitzgerald Ford looks good up front there. Hopefully, he can keep it up front.
I'm head engineer as well. Andrew Overstreet, you good? It's going to be close. Eric, what do you got?
I'm down here with Dave Ellens, crew chief on Tyler Reddick's number 9 car. First, are you good to make it on fuel? And second, how aggressive is Tyler going to be here to get to the checker flag first?
Well, we're definitely good on fuel because we made that extra stop. Interested to see how the restart goes here. Guys in front of us don't quite have enough, so we see what we have. We've had a fast car all day.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good luck.
Well, the 7's out of gas. 7's out of gas currently, and I think as you look at the pit strategy and the way that things have shaken out, obviously either they didn't calculate it 100% correctly, or he didn't save as much as he was thinking he saved.
Definitely catastrophic. And when we saw that 0 car out of gas, I think a lot of them are going to be in trouble.
In a bad place to run out of gas. It's going to take a long time. He's got to get a push vehicle to push him all the way around this 2.6-mile racetrack.
Well, it's just it's a tough thing to do. It's hard to figure fuel mileage because, like you said,
they know you need a push.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble, but you have to take that gamble when you think that your calculations are correct, and you have to take the gamble to try to win the race. So, I don't obviously now you know that he wasn't going to make it, and there's the proof in the pudding.
Yeah, I bet Brian Wilson on the 22 right now is thinking, oh boy, after seeing one of them run out of gas, a couple of them run out of gas already. So, Blaney, what do you got on the 7?
Well, Brian Wilson on the 22 made me feel pretty good about their strategy until I saw the 7 run out. And now it's got to be getting really close. Maybe Justin didn't save as much, or they didn't get the car as full as they thought they did. So, devastating blow. They had this thing in the bag before that caution. So, by the time they get a push truck to it, who knows how many laps we're going to click off here. So, we'll find out. Definitely very nerve-wracking for these people who stayed out.
And I think he hit it right there. Not only is this showing everybody they might run out of gas, this is obviously adding another lap to their program that they weren't counting on.
Yeah, I think as you look at Cindric, I mean, he's 10 laps less fuel than the next car behind him. So
I think that's catbird seat.
That's a catbird seat. Brad, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the 9, the 19, and 20, those 3 cars are in a great position here. The 22 has saved a lot of fuel, but he has damage. Quite a bit of damage to the front end. He's going to be off the pace even if he has enough fuel. But going back to the 7 car, one of the things I'd like to point out is that these cars run with a different fueling system than what we have in the Cup Garage. So their fueling system, it's a lot easier for the cars to run out of fuel, even when they have a little bit of fuel left in the tank, especially when you get to tracks that have high banking like Talladega Superspeedway has. So he might not actually be out of gas in the tank. He might just be out of gas that was able to pick up. Obviously, his team felt like they could make it pretty easily here, and that's not the situation as he's being pushed back.
Something I think is going to be really important for Austin Cindric right here is keeping that pickup full. Where the fuel gets taken out of the gas tank is usually in the right rear corner, and when you're under caution of the fuel cell, when you're under caution, though, all that fuel is on the left side because of the banking. And that's going to be something that there may still be a little bit of gas in the tank, but he didn't have it all to the pickup and shows like he's out of gas. So you see him swerving, trying to get that pickup full. That's something that he's going to have to do to make sure it doesn't stumble on this restart.
Just shoots a lot of new life in a lot of teams. We went from 13 cars in the lead lap to now there's 21. So, Elliott Sadler, all those guys that had some mishaps early, this is their chance to get back in the running.
And that's pretty typical for Elliott Sadler. He's always kind of coming from behind and puts himself in position at the end. What do you think? What do you think down there, Bubba?
Yeah, I was pretty excited about the beginning of the race on my side of the pit road. We've been killing it with 2 stage winners with the 1 and the 21. But with this caution here and what just happened with the 7, that puts the 1 back on the lead lap. Now, although he is 20th, it took him only 5 laps to get up inside the top 5 of the top 10 where he was at the beginning of the race. So you've seen stranger things happen. And I want to know how many stats are we keeping on Ryan Blaney saying, hey, everybody, every time it comes to him.
Man, he is just leveling us today.
Shots fired, man.
Shots across the bow. Eric?
We're down here with the crew chief of the 19 car, Chris Gabehart. Chris, you're good on fuel. What have you been telling your driver to make the right moves here for the end of the race?
Well, there's just a lot you got to do even under caution in these races when you're low on fuel, and been really concentrating on getting him to do all of that. But we got plenty of fuel to get to him. We're not sure about the 22, so what lane he chooses could determine our fate a little bit if he doesn't go. But had a good effort, got a shot to win at the end of a plate race. That's all you can ask for.
Sounds good. Good luck. Ryan?
Hey, everyone, especially Bubba Wallace Jr. Talking to the 22 group, listening to some of their radio, they're letting him know who he's racing for Dash for Cash. So Chris Bell is going to line up 4th, really close to him. And like Bubba said, Sadler's back on the lead lap now. So that's really important. They're also going not only for the win, but trying to win $100,000 as well.
Well, I can tell you the last thing that everybody wants to see right here is that 22 stumble on the restart, because it will cause havoc as they're trying to get up through the gears.
watching, who's been the most aggressive helping?
Well, the most aggressive car on the track is the 9. So that's without a doubt. The 19's been kind of calm, and the 20's been kind of calm. So the 9's been, the 19 and 20 have both been calm.
True.
Yeah, as I watch every week, the 9 is very aggressive, and he's going forward, trying to make something happen. But as we come to this restart here, it's going to be overtime.
Yeah,
now
it's not a restart. We just had another car stall out, two different cars stall out. We're going to add another lap into overtime. So, guys, this is this is getting pretty sketch.
And every time they add another lap, Brian Wilson's thinking on that 22 car, well, it's great to another lap in their caution, it saves us fuel, but now we got to run more laps during the race, which is going to be hard for him to start to make that decision with that Fitzgerald Mustang on what they're going to want to do to try to win this race. But here's a team that's got 3 wins already. You got to go for it. I still think you got to go. Maybe I'm too aggressive, but I think keep going for it and try to do it. And you got $100,000 on the line to add a little bit more to that.
He is sick to his stomach, though.
Oh, has to be.
You can see it in his face.
You know anybody who's won in that car?
I know 3 of them. Yeah, and they all happen to be on air with us today.
Okay. He was giving you credit for giving yourself credit earlier.
I know. Earlier I said, we're doing a good job.
You patted yourself on the back.
I patted all of us on the back. We're doing it as a team.
Never seen anybody do that before.
Sometimes you got to give yourself a little pat on the back, a little attaboy every now and again.
Sure am doing a good job.
You ever do that in a race car? Just like, man, I'm doing really good.
Maybe that's what I'm missing.
Right now, Mikey just made a good point. He said, it looks to me like the bird flew away and the cat jumped down because the catbird seat is no longer any good.
As a fan, I really am. I'm glad that this caution came out. As a competitor, I'm afraid that it's going to lead to havoc and some crash race cars. But what a beautiful day. We've covered this all day long. The fans, the turnout to this track has been incredible this race. The infield is packed. Lots going on at this racetrack. Just feels good. We've seen a lot of kids in the stands going to breaks and things like that. I hope they get their money's worth right here at the end.
And right now, everybody in the top 8 thinks they have a great shot at winning right now. And that's one of the coolest things about Talladega and being that great equalizer. Anything can happen right now in this restart, whether they crash or not. If you just get the right runs at the right time, that hole opens up at the right moment, you can definitely pass a lot of cars, get yourself to the front. Shoot, you might win this thing. There's a chance they crash this before the start-finish line and you're able to sneak away and grab a win. We've seen that all happen here before.
Well, we've got the Dash for Cash today, and they've definitely had their fair share of problems. You see Christopher Bell having a left rear tire problem, rode around, got it wrapped around the brake line. Austin spun out.
And is now leading.
Didn't get hit, and is now leading the race with a bent nose splitter. And then we have Elliott Sadler speeding so he doesn't get T-boned in the left rear by a spinning John Hunter Nemechek. And here we are. And we still have Cindric leading, racing for $100,000. You've got Bell in 4th racing for $100,000. And oh yeah, like we said earlier, Elliott Sadler back in the game.
On the lead lap.
Overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Oh, and you see the 22 stumbling.
Oh, man.
And then what's going to happen here? Are they going to wave it off? Or are they going to they're still going green?
No 83 Volvo today, boys.
And I think it's still stumbling and running just a little bit right now.
That's a heartbreaker.
And you see the 3
car. More cars, maybe.
Looks like maybe the same thing for him.
Yeah, did he run out of gas or just get shuffled to the bottom there?
I don't know. I was watching.
I couldn't tell exactly what happened.
They've got to make it back around to the start-finish line. You're going to see the blocks. You're going to see the runs. If it's going to happen, it's got to happen now. Because that's what you don't know. You have to, if that caution comes out once they cross that start-finish line, the race is over. So you need to be in the lead right here.
And here we go right here. Christopher Bell right behind Tyler Reddick. He made a great block to stay in front of him. And then Spencer Gallagher on the bottom.
Been in the show all day long, right there.
Racing for the lead. Now it's all about who gets that push at the right time. Unfortunately, Spencer's got no one behind him right now. He's going to have to hang strong on the bottom. But here's where Tyler Reddick, he's trying to side draft, but he has to stay in that mirror and make sure he's looking at Christopher Bell.
And like you said earlier, this is the most intense part of the last couple laps when you don't know whether it's going to in or not. And Spencer Gallagher has basically passed him on his own.
He's second, and now at this point, he's blocking his butt off, and they may crash at any moment right now.
This middle line's coming, lots of momentum. Spencer Gallagher is definitely doing a good job blocking, but he is way out there, guys.
He's way out there. And look at Cole Custer. Holy cow, a big run.
Bottom lane's coming. The 7 car. And look at Elliott Sadler coming and pushing that teammate.
And this is where Talladega is a lot different than other racetracks. And here comes the start-finish line. And Spencer Gallagher is going to win his first race. How about that? That's awesome. What a great moment for that team.
This is going to be a celebration.
Oh, man. This is going to be the most fun interview I think we've had all day.
Elliott Sadler coming back somehow and winning that Dash for Cash money, $100,000. But how about Spencer Gallagher? What him and his family has put into this sport. I mean, it gave me goosebumps to watch him win that race right there.
And I can promise you, folks, for those of you that don't know who Spencer Gallagher is, you are getting ready to see one of the best interviews and the most excitement that you have ever seen from anybody winning the race. And I think in the garage and in this booth, I think everybody is really, really happy to see Spencer win. And, like you say, for his family and team, for everything they put into this sport. What a great moment.
And we've all felt this. I mean, it's just so neat to know what he's fixing to experience and the feeling that he has. But you said it earlier, Kevin. They keep, just kept at it, kept getting better and better and better week in and week out. The commitment is there with the family, Allegiant Airlines, everything that they've done. It's just incredible to get them in victory lane here at Talladega. Burn it down,
This
baby.
is going to be a big burnout.
And his dad, Maury Gallagher, who, obviously has a lot to do with putting this race team and the finances to put this race team on the racetrack, has obviously put a lot of good people in place. I know Mike Beam, who's a longtime crew chief in his sport. There's his dad right there. And
man, that has got to be the coolest feeling to see your son out there winning it at your race team. How much work has gone into building your race team? Kevin, you know what that's like. And then to have your first victory like this, there's got to be no better feeling.
But to build a race team and have your son driving the car and go to victory lane, and I know you have a lot of people, but as a dad, I mean, what a great feeling.
Yeah,
That's
you
a cool story.
Couldn't have done it any better. Couldn't have scripted it any better. I'm glad he's here to see that first win.
I want to see a mic. I want somebody to stick a mic in his face. So I want to hear what Dad has to say.
How about one of you runners? Get over there, mid-20s, boys. We want an interview.
Yeah, let's see how he took the lead here. You see him on the bottom. I didn't think he had much help behind him, but then you see the 19 car be able to get behind him here some. Does a good job of side drafting off the 9.
Really stalled that 9 out there.
And just did a great job of stalling him out, getting away from him, and taking position and then throwing the block right there.
And the good thing for him is nobody was really for him bumper to bumper. There wasn't a lot of energy that was building forward, and he was just able to drive by the 9 there and get the lead and did a great job blocking.
But look at Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier here at the end.
Huge.
What a huge run. I thought Cole Custer was going to the win right there, but his run died out there at the end.
So, and we didn't tear a bunch of cars up. That's what you hate to see at the end of these races. You want that excitement. You want to feel that and see a good show, but it's nice to know that they didn't tear these cars up.
And we had another great Talladega finish with an unexpected winner. Awesome.
Cool.
But now, perhaps the most anticipated interview of the year. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series first-time winner, Spencer Gallagher. Ryan Blaney's with him.
Spencer,
oh my goodness.
Great job.
Dude,
amazing move right there. You led one lap in this race. It was the only one that mattered. Your move into one was textbook, slowing them down and then clearing off a two. What was going through your mind, man? You made some great moves at the end of that race to put yourself in position and then block it for half a lap when all those cars coming behind you.
The only thing going through my mind was I hope to hell this works. Gosh, I'm so happy right now. GMS Racing brought such an incredible car here. I mean, to qualify this thing third in the race like we did all day, I knew we had the speed, but man, it didn't seem real for a while there. That whole last lap, it was kind of a dream. You hear your spotter talking to you in the background, but all you're really doing is looking out your mirror and trying to turn up into your high, buddy. Missed you. That was a good one. But man, it's always wild the last lap at Talladega, but we brought it home, baby. Got it done.
Well, I think the coolest thing is, you're a family-owned team. You own cars and Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. That's super cool, and to have your dad here. Saw your dad was here too, and I think he's standing right over there, so that's really cool. But yeah, bring him on over here. We want to interview the owner and the dad and everybody.
Come here. How you doing, Chris? Come here.
Sir.
Come talk to Ryan.
This is a great family moment.
Oh, hell. Hello, Ryan.
Congratulations.
Thank you
We
very
love
much.
what you do as an owner, a family man. Your first career win in the Xfinity Series. That's amazing. And to have your son driving too, that's got to be pretty special.
Well, it's a double win for both us and the team. Obviously, we've been in this for a long time, and it's a long time coming, but wear two hats. Papa hat, team hat. Papa hat couldn't be happier. Team hat, extremely happy. So great team effort. Mike Beam and, Chad and everybody. It's a great day. Great day.
Well, congratulations to you both. This is awesome. That was an amazing race. We'll throw it over to Bubba. Thank you guys for watching.
Ryan, if you may, I'd like to take a second to personally address everyone at GMS. I know y'all are watching. That was every bit as crazy as it sounds. And when I get home, we are going to party like it's 1999, y'all. We won!
Back to you, Bubba.
All right, guys. I don't know if we can follow up that interview. First time win like we were talking about, but driver Elliott Sadler here, heck of a run. You've overcame a lot of obstacles today, coming from the back, a speeding penalty, not trying to get run over by the 42 car. Just assess your day and what you had going on, and big winner, $100,000.
$100,000.
God Almighty! You want to share that with me?
Yeah, I'll give you a penny or two.
That'll work.
You're going to run for a lot of money tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Yeah, good luck on that. It was an up and down day for us. Holy cow, we had a rocket, came to the front, and man, I had to make a split decision. My spotter was yelling that the 42 was spinning beside me, and I was trying to look with my Hans on, and I could see his front end facing me, so I gassed it up a little and gave us a pit road penalty. But there, with the wave around and people running out of gas, put us back in contention, and glad to get this one main Chevy back to a top 5 and win $100,000.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
My birthday's Monday, so I'm going to get me something nice.
And that's Elliott Sadler. Off to you, Eric.
Down here with Brandon Jones, finished second today. His best career finish in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Brandon, a solid day from start to finish. Ran up front. What did you have to do those last few laps to make sure you're going to stay up there in contention for the win?
Yeah, these last couple of weeks, man, have been such a huge confidence booster for myself and this team as well. They've been doing so much to kind of help me out and get me to where I need to be. So those last couple of laps were pretty nuts. It was, a lot of people running out of fuel and stuff. So I knew we were pretty good there, but it was always in the back of my head that that could be a possibility. So all in all, phenomenal. I didn't think second was going to be what we had, but I wish we could have got that one extra to be in victory lane today.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, man. Good job. Up to you guys.
Well, I think we had a couple firsts there. I think that was the first interview that I've ever seen with the Hans device still attached to the body in victory lane. And Spencer Gallagher led his first lap ever to win. That was the only lap he's ever led, but what a great finish.
What was the right one.
Yeah. Oh, what a feel-good story to see him, his dad in there, and they're going to party like it's 1999 later. How cool is that just to see all that hard work come together for, like you said, not only from the hard work side of the race team, but the family side, to see your son win his first race like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, we had a lot of help up here today, and they let us take over, so we got to bring our help in. We got Michael, who's been giving us stats all day, and Adam, who
left.
Where were you?
I just can't believe that last year you do drivers only.
You left us with him.
Well, I know. But here's the deal. Last year you do drivers only. Last lap pass, Brad Keselowski wins.
today, overtime, and a guy leads the first lap of his career, and Spencer Gallagher wins. This is incredible, the races you guys get.
And I got to tell you, the best feeling I've had all day long was during Spencer Gallagher's interview. These three tough, macho man NASCAR stock car drivers were shedding tears. They know how special it is to win in NASCAR, and to do it with your dad there with you, and to have the whole team, the element of it. I love you guys. I love your emotion, and I really appreciate
That was exciting.
Your spirit.
Hey, hook up with Elliott Sadler. This is his second week in a row. He's won $100,000.
Yeah, it's
nice to him.
He's a good friend to have right now.
Dinner on the one.
All right, stop. We got to go to the hotel. Brad's still eating ice cream.
My birthday's Monday, too.
You know, Spencer Gallagher's partying like it's 1999. I just want to party like I'm in the Hollywood Hotel every week. Ice cream, food, pizza. This has been a blast. But Kevin, guys, you guys were beautiful. Wonderful job on television. And what a race, Ricky. First-time winner, Spencer Gallagher. You got to feel the excitement that he has to win his first race at Talladega. You and I, we both won our first race at Talladega. I know exactly what he's going through. And when he says it's going to be a party like it's 1999, I believe him.
Yeah, he'll be on the boulevard later tonight. Man, this Xfinity series, really exciting so far in the 2018 season. 9 races, 9 different winners. I mean, I don't know what you could ask for much more in 20ation. We got
to bring in our group here. I know what I couldn't ask
Larry
for, and
was
that's much
feeding
better
me
help than I had here.
Thank you.
Plenty of stats.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun
Thanks,
watching
guys.
you guys. I think you guys did a great job.
Well, appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Who else do we have in the cast here? Take us, here we got our other 5 guys here. Shannon, we've got Jamie, Vince, Regan. Thanks for all your help, guys. This has been a great day.
What about us?
So coming up next, NASCAR tomorrow, race day, starting at 12 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Fox coverage for the race. The Geico 500 begins. But up next, probably more importantly, it's Supercross, Salt Lake City. Stay tuned. It's been a wonderful day at Talladega. Thanks for tuning in.